Just wanted to do a review on my 2005 Suzuki V Strom. It's been a great bike for the 14 years I had it. I bought it new. Really no complaints overall. I mean, I did have one issue, big issue, a few small issues, but the biggest issue was stator and the generator went out. That's all one unit inside where the stator goes, inside the left side of the motorcycle. 86,000 miles it went out, but I think a lot of that was my fault because I have a tendency to ride this thing and rev it out, and I run it pretty hard. I mean, I'll bounce it off the rev limiter, you know, just rev it out. I love to rev out. It's got a lot of torque. I'll put it in third gear and just go for it. The fork seals went out at about 80,000. Oh, and then the throttle position sensor went out right about the same time, right around 80,000. But those were both minor issues, you know. The fork seals, a little over $100. That's everything. I bought everything to replace them. Throttle position sensor was under $100. But like I said, I ride this bike. I ride the piss out of it, and it's been really a pretty good bike all in all. I can't complain. It doesn't burn oil. It's got the just changed the plugs at 100,000, and I mean, they were still burning nice and brown and light. No oil leaks. So pretty much it's been a good bike. And really wasn't looking for this bike. I was looking for a sport touring bike at the time, but they just weren't. I just didn't feel comfortable. They just were either didn't have enough leg rooms or too much weight on my wrist. And by chance I sit on this and I said, man, this is just like the bikes I had in the 60s and 70s. Straight upright riding position, comfortable, excellent seat. Just for the stock seat, I couldn't believe how comfortable it was. See if I can get around this guy up here. It's about 60 degrees today, so I thought I'd go out and take it for a ride, see how the new plugs work. The gearing on this was pretty high. I mean, 6th gear, I mean, you had to be doing almost 80 just really to get it in the 6th gear and not have it lug on you. So I went up 2 teeth in the rear sprocket just to get a little bit more snap out of it, and then plus now I can use 6th. I'm on the freeway. I put it in 6th, and it doesn't lug like it used to. You have to excuse me if I'm trying to think and stutter. 72 years old, I have a little bit of a problem trying to chew gum and talk, so let alone ride a motorcycle and talk. So just bear with me, because like I said, this has been a great bike. I tell you what, it just can't believe how it turns in. It's just so light on the turn in. I've had a couple other bikes during the time I had this, naked bikes, and I'll be honest, this here, I like the way it handles better than my FZ6 or my Aprilia Shiver. This thing here, just it turns in easier. It's got a lot more torque. On the FZ6 was a great bike. I mean, it had a good engine. I mean, that thing just revved 14 grand out of that sucker. But this thing here, it's really good and torquey. I ride mostly up in the mountains here, so I'll put it in one gear and just leave it and just run it, you know. Come in, let it thump out of a corner. It's a long ways to the next corner. I'll just rev it up to 6-7 grand and just leave it in that gear. Top speed I've had this bike, and this is GPS, not from the Speedo. The Speedo's about 100 miles an hour. It's 10 miles an hour off. They got a speed healer, I guess, that takes care of it, but I just had a GPS on, and I was passing a row of cars on 395 just before Randsburg, and anyway, when I got home, I looked at the top speed, and sure enough, it was 133 miles an hour. And pretty much the form says that they got a speed limit at 125, but I don't know how I got it past 125. The only thing I'm thinking is I downshifted into fourth to pass, and I guess maybe the speed limit only works in fifth and sixth. I can't tell you how that happened, but see, this bike, it's effortless in this corner here, you know? I mean, there's really, just pop right out, man. It's been I can't believe how I got lucky with this bike. Like I said, I had an Aprilia and I had a FC6. They were nice bikes, but man, I tell you what, this bike really turns in nice and easy. It's a little wet out here, so I can't really get on the bike too much. Plus, there's a lot of debris on the ground, so I gotta sort of maintain. But I got a buddy of mine he bought a brand new. This is back a few years. There's a 09 BMW GS 800, and we switched bikes. And he goes, "Man, I wish I would have rode your bike before I bought this thing." But a little bit of dirt there. This thing, like I said, everyone that's rode it they can't believe for what I paid for it, $8,200 out the door, how well this thing just works. It just all around, it's not great. I mean, it's not a 150 horsepower naked bike or sport adventure bike. I mean, you know, but who really needs all that power? I mean, you ain't gonna use 150 horse on this road. I mean, this road is just, it's, you know, third gear, maybe fourth. Me, this V Strom, I'll just leave it in this gear and run it up, you know, like right now, running it up, coming in the corner, whoa, get on the brakes a little bit and get back on it. Watch out for the debris. And what I like about it, it's old school. Like I said, I'm an old guy, and I'm pretty old school. I mean, no ABS, no traction control. The only traction control is your right hand. And ABS, you just gotta watch out. I mean, there's been a couple times where I gotta admit, it would have probably been nice to have ABS when your rear end catches your front end. It gets a little hairy, but other than that, it's, you know, you just have to watch it. Like right now, you probably can't tell, but the road's pretty dirty, so you really have to watch it. And it's still got a lot of moisture on the road from it rained day before yesterday, and man, I'm telling you, we had 3 inches of rain, so the roads are pretty hairy. But what I like about this thing is you can trail brake all the way into the corner and even past the corner. It just holds its line. It doesn't do anything to upset itself. I mean, if I wanted to hold on the brake past the corner, it just doesn't stand up. It just holds its line. I can't believe how nice this bike works. Bit of dirt on the ground. Now it's going to get dirty here, so I'm going to have to take it easy. Up here in the mountains, when you get a good rain, what happens is, especially when you're up against like this side of this mountain here, all the DG just washes off and crosses the road, and it gets pretty hairy if you're not watching it. Like here, there's a lot of moisture on the ground. It's still damp. A lot of DG. Like right now, I'm going to be on the brakes, and I'll trail brake all the way around until I can see around the corner, because you never know what's around the bend. I've ran into cars in my lane. I ran into, bulls, you name it, it can be there. I even almost hit a bear one time. Man, I tell you, what a great day. We've had some rain, the green, the hills are green. It's really, can't beat it, and like I said, I bet you it's probably 62 degrees maybe, so it's plenty warm enough for a ride. Here's got a bunch of sand and stuff across the road. There's a poor guy didn't make that turn. What's good about this bike, I mean, you can ride it any way you want it. I mean, you can, if you want to just hang off the side and MotoGP style, it'll do it. If you want to just supermoto, just sit upright and throw the front end in, just boom, it does it, man. It just, woo, great. Lots of good torque. This is a fun little section of Lions Trail. This is actually Caliente Bodfish Road, but the locals up here, we call it Lions Trail. Don't ask me how I got the name, but that's what I've been told for years, ever since I moved up here. Been up here for a little over 32 years, riding these mountain roads. And I tell you, there's a lot of nice riding. Right now, you're pretty limited to where to ride. All the major passes got snow and you can't get over them. This is what's good about this road. It's a little 120 mile an hour, 120 mile an hour, yeah, I wish. 120 mile loop that takes about 3 hours. There's a little restaurant you can stop and have breakfast in Twin Oaks. It's a lot of fun. It's something to do in the wintertime when everything else is closed up around here. nice guy. He pulls over, lets you by. Most of the people, locals especially up here, will let you by. They'll pull over. You get some of these assholes, tourists and stuff. They're gonna hog the road, and they'll go stop in the middle of the road and won't pull over for you. So you just, like I said, you got to be careful when you're riding up here. Right now, there's a lot of moisture right where I'm riding. The ground's wet. Unfortunately, I'm only getting about a little over 20,000 miles of rear tire. Roads up here are pretty bad, so you don't get a lot of mileage out of your tires. You got a brand new tire on the back. And like I said, there's nothing fancy. This is all old school. You got to bleep the throttle. There's no slipper clutch, so if you don't bleep the throttle, your rear end will skid on you in these corners. But I tell you, if someone wants a nice used bike and wants something that will do everything, you can't beat a V Strom. I would say anywhere from 2004 all the way up to 2012. I mean, I'd recommend this bike. I mean, it's been a great bike. Handles well. It's upright riding position. I just love everything about it. Right there, trail brake all the way around the corner, no problem. Anyway, I just wanted to give a little review on my 2005 Suzuki V Strom. Like I said, it's been a really good bike. I had to spend a little bit of money when the stator and that went out, but you know, it's a lot cheaper than a new one, I guarantee you. Like I said, $8,200 out the door. I got my money's worth. See which quits first, me or the bike. Anyway, Hope if someone's looking for a nice used bike or you're interested in the V Strom, this will help you out.